Hey guys, welcome back to another update video. Today is May 3rd, 2025, and right now across the continuous US, it's really quiet when I make this video. I mean, the worst thing I see is just maybe some flood warnings around, maybe some dense fog advisories, but that's all we have for a bit for today right now. But today, severe weather does present itself across the lower 48. Right along here in the East Coast, we have quite large slight risk all the way from South Carolina all the way up to New Hampshire. So along the I-95 corridor, we may see some severe weather. We do also have a larger marginal risk from the southeast all the way up into Maine, and also having over here in Nevada, Idaho, and southeastern portions of Oregon, we also have ourselves some marginal risk weather too. Now, our big deal with this is going to be damaging winds. Now, it's going to be a lot less than we think it is going to be than yesterday, because yesterday we had an enhanced risk of weather across the whole south here for a bunch of tornadoes and winds. Now, hail was a big problem out in the Texas portion. However, I mean, we did see tennis balls falling down yesterday, but also the hail threat could be a little bit of a problem too, as it can have up to a 15% basically in that damaging wind. Our tornado threat is going to be low for sure, anywhere probably, along the northeast I-95 corridor. So, Boston, New York, maybe like northern parts of New York could see that. Philadelphia, DC. We also even have one for Pensacola and Panama City over here, so keep in mind about that too. Now, that's mainly for the morning, as we did see some special weather statements going out in special marine warnings. And then for tomorrow, they still could issue a slight risk, but right now for the SPC, it's just this wide marginal risk area going throughout the East Coast, going all the way up to the Pennsylvania area, as well as we still do have this western severe weather impacting our friends here in New Mexico. So Santa Fe, Albuquerque, Roswell, you guys will be seeing some severe weather for sure. Then if we go into day 3, things do get uncertain, but they have already issued a slight risk throughout the Odessa, Lubbock, and maybe near Austin, near San Antonio areas. The problem is that we still do have ourselves a flooding risk. We have a 5% flooding risk throughout the whole East Coast here. So we could be seeing some flooding problems like we did yesterday with around the Oklahoma City area, as well as just this tiny little blimp over here in New Mexico. Day 2 is going to be the same here, mostly now across more of like a mid-Atlantic New England type thing here for the 5%. And still our friends in New Mexico over here still got some rain over there too. So keep in mind about flooding, because a 5% chance is not a 0% chance. And then day 3 comes some more, where we actually have a slight risk for our friends in Texas. So our friends in Abilene and Lubbock, you got to get ready. And still not green, we still got to watch out for that. And still within the East Coast too, so keep in mind of that. So another thing I want to show everybody here who's watching this is that you can also go over the temperature for the Climate Prediction Center, and we can see all this above this line that I made is like going to be warmer than above temperatures. And I also do believe we can see Alaska and Hawaii too, which, I mean, they're not as important, but they can be a little important too. And then over here, we have ourselves the cold section. So anything between here, we will probably have a lot of severe weather in between of, which is actually quite a large area too. And I'm right in the center. The red dot is where the location of where I am is, and I'm going to be right in the center of this. Then the 8 to 14, I mean, it is a little less certain, but they do believe that the warm air is going to come down and the cold air is going to start getting out of the south here. We still have our battle zone for severe weather right here, as they're going to be right in between. So maybe even a little bit more of precipitation, which I can actually click on to here. You can see now, right now for precipitation, well, the Midwest, the South, in the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast, we're going to be seeing much more drier conditions than the west and the southeast here, receiving a little bit more rainfall. Going to the 6 to day 10, I don't know, I kind of did the opposite. You see that the dry air is still kind of coming down from the north, so from kind of coming down from Canada, hanging around the Midwest region. So places like Michigan, Wisconsin, even Chicago will see much more drier than conditions, while down here in Florida, we're still going to be seeing much more average of rainfall. I want to talk about drought because I haven't heard people talk about this at all. Drought might not be as concerning as you think it is, but can become a problem. So anywhere across near Mexico, we've seen a lot drier conditions, which is kind of expected for this. But places like Florida are in the extreme drought section. And for Florida, that should really never be happening, considering how it develops a lot of moisture for a lot of rain, because it's literally between, it's literally a peninsula if you think about it. And then some portions of the plains are experiencing some of that, and a little bit of the East Coast too. But other than wise, not much of the country is experiencing really the extreme or exceptional drought. And that rain is going to start moving over, which is going to develop this line of storms coming across the mid-Atlantic region, which could definitely cause some of those damaging winds. Now, I am showing a 2-day area of severe weather, so our low pressure system's kind of just going to be spinning around the Ohio River Valley here. So areas along the East Coast, well, I think actually, from what I've been seeing, is that a lot of our stuff is going to be a little bit more south. I don't think they will do an enhanced risk, as it's not going to be as severe as yesterday was. But we still will see some hail and maybe like an isolated tornado with a lot of damaging winds. I mean, damaging winds and large hail are the biggest threats here for today, for sure. I mean, we are going to see a little bit of it. So some portions here we could see, up to 1,000 in some areas, which tornadoes can spawn 1,000 Cape. However, if they do, they're not going to be very long, for sure. And then it's going to die down quickly, and then we're going to have a re-intensification happen when our second line moves through, where we could see probably up to 1,500 Cape in some places, especially, between Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. We could see some severe weather with this, for sure. And then with the significant tornado parameter, I mean, again, some spots here in Virginia, for sure, could see up to 1.0 some. However, again, it's not going to be very likely, as it's going to be more isolated. However, when that second line moves through the mid-Atlantic region, we could see some stuff, getting to the 1.0 plus area. So for sure, there is a chance we might see a tornado for maybe a couple of minutes. Well, that's all the weather talk that I have for everyone here today. So if you guys like to see another weather video, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.